What's up, guys? Welcome to episode 144 of Nintendo Pow Block. Coming to you live from this ice-cold north. I'm one of your hosts, Corey Dirrig, and alongside me, as always, is that retro code, Eddie B. Over here, the wise Wisconsinite Jesse Douglas.
How's it going, everyone?
For those of you who are just listening and held up to Metroid Amiibo. This is going to be a very, very strange episode. I just want to get that out of the way. We were going to talk about the Nindy highlights thing that happened earlier this week, but some bigger news happened on Friday, and we were gonna try to talk about it Friday night, but it was too late, and honestly, I went to bed at like 10:30. So we're gonna
just got home.
We're gonna do it here. It's a pretty big bombshell. So, of course, I do want to kind of go over some things real quick. We're breaking the video versions out into separate topics. So, if you're on our YouTube page or on our website, don't worry, you're still going to get the full episode on Tuesdays at 7 a.m. The full video, the full audio, all that stuff. But for a cleaner, kind of more concise experience for people who don't have a lot of time or are just interested in certain topics, we're breaking out the videos. So you'll have, I think last week Pow Block had like 8 different videos go up. But, you know, that's just how we're going to run it now. So it's a little bit more work, but I think it'll be worth it for everybody trying to get in on this video version. So, yeah, that's kind of it for that. Let me pull up my notes here because we got some housekeeping to get through here.
Yes.
All right, so first of all, we have new giveaway details. Of course, we are giving away Yoshi's Woolly World in March, but also we are giving away in February a year subscription, I should say, of Nintendo Switch Online. So there's new contest rules. We're not going to have you email us questions anymore. Well, you can still email us questions because we still want questions for Question Block. But we're going to have you subscribe to the YouTube page and then post your screenshot in our Facebook group, facebook.com/group/Nintendo Pow Block, because we really want to build our social communities. So if you're not a member, you just click join and wait for one of us to approve you, and then you'll join, and then you will post your sub in the Facebook group along with your favorite Nintendo-based memory, whether it's a holiday memory, whether it's going out and buying a game, standing in line, that kind of stuff. So, yeah. So for February and March, that's how we're doing it. So subscribe to the YouTube page, screen cap your subscription, post it in the Nintendo Pow Block Facebook page with a comment on your favorite Nintendo-based memory. So that's how we're going to do this giveaway. So if you're already subscribed, good job. Post your sub there. If not, get subbing. Yes. Yoshi's Woolly World in March. Year subscription of Nintendo Online in February. That's how we're doing it. So, moving on. We have a few new shows in the works, as you know. Starting in April, Cubecast TV will launch with a playthrough of the original Luigi's Mansion on GameCube. So that's going to be fun. Also, NG Arcade will be launching on June 1st. Subscribe today at youtube.com/NintendoPowBlock today and click that bell for notifications on those episodes when they go up. Also, you can check them out on ngrradio.com. Next, Nindy Showcase is halfway through already. with the messenger being showcased in the most recent episode. There are 4 more episodes this season. Also, you can catch up on previous seasons by going to ngrradio.com or youtube.com/Nintendo Pow Block. If you're interested in Anthem, The Division 2, or Destiny on the other consoles, you can also subscribe to our new channels and podcasts, Javelins for Hire, Darkstone Junkies, and Tower Casuals, respectively. If you want to join us on any of these games, join our reformatted Nerds Gone Rogue multiplayer community on Facebook or on our respective Xbox and PlayStation communities as well. You can join us there for some multiplayer fun. And if not, you can play other games with us too. Gears of War, Halo, Destiny. Well, I guess Destiny's in that list. Anyways,
Destiny 2.
We're trying to build a better kind of cohesive community, a better kind of interactive community. So you can join those places as well, or you can join the Nerds Gone Platinum and Arsenal X Facebook communities as well, or follow us on Twitter. Lastly, you can check out ngrradio.com for all of our content, shows, and written pieces, and go to ngrradio.com/subscribe if you want to subscribe to one of our other shows and aren't sure where to go. That's the easiest place to go. Also, you can find all of us there. You can follow us there as well. And also, if you want to watch us live stream, you can go to ngrradio.com/live to find out where you can follow us on Twitch. Jesse's been streaming a lot lately. I've been streaming a little bit. And by a little bit, I mean I've streamed 2 days this past week, which was quite an accomplishment for me. So, yeah. Anyways, we're going to jump into what we've been playing because we have a lot to discuss today. So, you know what? I'm going to start because I've been playing some Nintendo Switch. I've been playing some of that new Super Mario Bros. U. That game is really good. It's really fun. I'm really struggling to get all 3 coins in each level right now because there's always 2 that are easy to get, right? But there's always a third one. After you get out of that first world, there's always a third one that's really hard to get, and you have to like almost backtrack and get a specific suit or power to get into where you need to go.
Yes.
And let's be honest, the squirrel suit is the easiest way to get around. So I usually go back there, and I hear a snoring dog, I think.
No, he's just sitting there looking, staring at the TV.
That's funny. I heard him though.
Right.
Oh, you know what he might have been doing is because I have a Boston Terrier for anyone that doesn't know, and they have they're like a shorter snout dog, so like sometimes they'll have like almost like an asthma attack where they'll have to breathe in through their nose like weird a couple of times to like get their breath, because that's just unfortunately something that happens with dogs with smaller snouts.
Yeah.
Our AX.
So he was probably doing that, I bet.
That's funny.
Our
Sometimes
AX mascot.
What was I saying? Oh yeah, so I've been playing a lot of the new Super Mario Bros. U during the day before I get on Xbox and play some other games, but I've been playing a lot of that. I started Travis Strikes Again, No More Heroes. It's pretty fun. I mean, if you want a cheaper hacking / experience that's kind of like, it's not exactly as over the top as I was expecting it to be. It's more of just like a hack and slash kind of beat 'em up type game. The bosses are pretty interesting, but as you're moving through the level, you're basically just tapping the quick attack button or the heavy attack button to perform combos and stuff. It's pretty kind of basic so far. So it is cool though, because you get sucked into these different video games, and I was kind of expecting like the gameplay to change depending on what world you're in, but it kind of doesn't. It's kind of like the same type of game. So,
Okay.
But it's still fun. I mean, for $30, it's pretty fun. And if you want the season pass, I think it's $40. Like the total thing is $40 if you want the season pass too. So, there's that. And then I've been playing through some Valkyria Chronicles 1 before I get back to 4, because those 2 run parallel, and I guess there's some things in 1 that kind of cross over into 4 and it makes the story make more sense or whatever. So, and it's really scratching that Fire Emblem itch that I've been having. So, yeah. Man, I've been craving some Fire Emblem, man. I've been craving Fire Emblem so much that I reinstalled the the mobile game on my
Oh
phone.
no.
Yeah, and then I was just like, yeah, Fire Emblem. And guess what? It's Fire Emblem. So that's basically what I've been doing.
I'm surprised they didn't put that mobile game, like, make it available for Switch too.
Yeah, as like a free download.
Just something free that you could play.
Well,
I think because of Three Heroes.
What?
I think because of not Three Heroes, Three Houses.
Well,
and being in production.
But I know the Switch can do vertical stuff, but it is a very vertical game, and the Switch screen is like, it's got different dimensions than a phone screen does. So
yeah,
but I mean, don't get me wrong, I would totally play it if it was on Switch.
Yeah, yeah, because did you end up getting your vertical thing for Switch already?
The flip grip, no. I had to get in touch with them and find out, because I got an email, confirming my address, but nothing has been shipped out to me. So I got to get in touch with them and find out what's happening to it.
Okay. Because I was gonna say, yeah, because with that being available, they definitely could just throw it on there eventually, because there would be a way to play it. I mean, not that you couldn't just lay your Switch down, sideways and
tabletop
and play, and just go into tabletop mode with it. Like, I don't know, but yeah.
But I'll get into what we've been playing on, what I've been playing on Xbox and on Arsenal X and other stuff, but because we have some very interesting Anthem and Destiny things to talk about. So, but Jesse, I'm gonna move on over to you. What have you been playing?
On Switch, I really haven't played too much. I finally got a subscription to the year for the online or whatever. But and then I did buy some games, but I haven't. The only thing I think I played a little Tropical Freeze, and that's about it. Dude, I just don't want to spend, like, there's just so much games coming out right now that I, like bigger games that, like, I just bought Resident Evil and stuff, and so I want to get the budget. I want to get the Mario game and stuff eventually here. I think that will probably be one of the next games I buy. Maybe in like a week or two I'll get that. I don't know, but I just haven't really got anything lately. Or there's so many games for Switch that I want to get.
Exactly.
That have been out even for, like, almost a year now. So, but yeah. So that's it for me, really. A lot of stuff on Xbox, but I'll just hand it off to you, Ed.
Okay, so I'm going to keep this super short. Games that I did pick up, I got the Mutant Mudds collection. I got a demo from a game called Drowning, and then another game called Heroes Trials. The only two games that I've been playing for Switch is Fire Emblem Warriors. Dang, Corey, you got me saying heroes.
I'm sorry.
Fire Emblem Warriors and Guacamole Melee 2. So that's pretty much what I've been doing with my Switch. I've been doing stuff for PS4 and Xbox, but like Corey, I'll talk about that on AX. I just wanted to keep Switch really short. Because, I was in the convo mode with Corey, like, Friday morning about the news. You was asleep, Jesse.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, we talked. I mean, we were like, dude, I was at work, and Ed's like, Metroid Prime 4 was scrapped and changed developers. I was like, what are you talking about? And he linked me the YouTube video, and I was like, is this one of those fake videos that like people are like screwing around? And I ended up like, and all of a sudden, like, I mean, I couldn't watch it because I was driving, but then all of a sudden all these articles on other sites started popping up, and I was like, holy crap, this is real, this is really happening. And this is This Metroid's our topic, our 3 topics today. So, I was just like, oh my gosh, this is insane. So,
and I literally woke up in the morning to this, to seeing it on because Nintendo of America posted it on their Twitter thing, the announcement and the video, and I'm like, what the world is going on? And yeah.
So I mean, it was a pretty big surprise to say the least. So I guess we'll kind of get right into this here. Metroid Prime 4 development has been scrapped and restarted with the help of Retro Studios. This is pretty big news because we were kind of trying to decide if this game was going to come out this year or next year, and I think we all kind of decided it was going to be coming out next year. But man, just scrapping the development and kind of restarting with Retro is a huge deal. That's huge. So I mean, that's I don't want to say it's a blow to Switch because there's a lot of great games coming out this year and probably next year. There's a whole bunch of rumor titles and everything that haven't even been announced yet. But man, to kind of just restart a project like this was kind of like, it was shocking that Nintendo themselves made a video about it and sent it out.
And this is the thing about the video, because everybody was trying to compare it to Zelda. The Zelda one is different than this one because Zelda, they just talked about the delay of it because they wanted to add more stuff. But they did do a video, and everybody was cool with it. I think that's what everybody kind of appreciates with Nintendo and even with Japanese developers, because it's different than what they do in America. Like, they could just announce that a game is going to be canceled or delayed, and we read it and then move on and don't think nothing about it. The Japanese developers, if they know that something's not working out, they would come up and own it. Mm-hmm. And from the producers and developers and the directors and head and executives come out to do a video like that, that's major. And I think that gives that company and that team more respect than just putting out a press release. So to see Takashi come out and apologize and said that we had stuff planned for this game, but it did not live up to our quality, our standards. That's huge. Mm-hmm. And everybody was just like, we're not getting it. But now that we know that Retro's working on it, because there were speculations on who was doing it. Mm-hmm.
Which some things started coming out about that, where like Nintendo was trying this new way to develop games and stuff, this ad hoc way where like different developers were doing different things. Like a couple studios were working on assets, a couple studios were working on gameplay systems, mm-hmm. A couple studios were working on like world design and whatever, and like some studios were like really trucking along, really doing what they needed to be doing, and other studios were it was just fire in the hole, man. It was all just not happening. So
that's what I wondered, because when I was reading it, they said that they had created a new team or something, or they had brought in a new team or something, or something like that. And see, and other people thought it was Bandai Namco. So to hear you say that, Corey, like, this is news to me. I didn't hear that. I was just like, really?
Some things, like, I've been following Imran Khan, who's the news editor for IGN, has been mm-hmm. tweeting and posting some stuff about like what was really happening with Metroid Prime 4 and everything, and it was like, this ad hoc development, and here's the thing though, is like, whatever those studios were working on, Nintendo could probably take those systems and stuff and have Retro use them, or like assets is the big thing, like
yes.
Studios that were making assets and stuff, like, you don't have to start creating new assets from scratch. That would be kind of, I don't know. It wouldn't be ridiculous for Nintendo, but in a different way, like look, I know you guys are going to roll your eyes at this, but just stick with me here. EA has Frostbite and all those Star Wars assets, right? Like,
yes.
How many times have those assets been repurposed in multiple games, And that was EA's big thing too was like, we're moving everybody to Frostbite because if one game needs a helicopter and another game already has one, we can kind of move this helicopter asset to another game and reskin it and whatever. That was kind of like their big thing. So like, there's no reason why Nintendo can't really do the same thing for Metroid Prime 4. Also,
well, it would be cost saving measures.
Yeah. Yeah, and thing too is they've already got HD models of Samus that they can pull from with Smash too. Even like they have these assets other places, and Nintendo. I'm pretty sure. Like I can't remember if we discussed this at some point, but like Nintendo's using Unreal Engine for a lot of their games now, for that reason. So. I don't know, man. It's a weird situation, but I mean, the thing is, I'm glad that they kind of scrapped the project if it wasn't up to their standards, because Metroid is a series that historically doesn't sell well, but Metroid Prime is kind of revered to a certain generation as like the Metroid series, right? And they want this game to live up to those standards, because Metroid Prime 2 were great on GameCube, and I think Corruption was probably pretty good, but the motion controls kind of led people to steer away from that game. But and I think they found out real quick that the Metroid Prime name means something when they put Federation Force out, and people hated it, right? And it's like, this is not Metroid Prime. This is not what the Metroid Prime name means. And so I think Nintendo's learned from that experience. Although I would like a proper like Metroid Prime Federation Force on Switch, and we've had that discussion plenty of times. But I think they've learned that, and they are going to try to live up to the Metroid Prime name because of that situation. So I would rather them take their time and do it right than kind of try this new style of development out and get it wrong.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead, Jesse.
I was just gonna say, I don't know, like that kind of development, just from I don't really obviously know how, what it's like to develop a game or any of that stuff, but like I've been listening to more like interviews with developers and things like that. I checked out, there's this really good interview with the creator of Dead Space that I had watched, and he talks about the development of that, like that first Dead Space game, and like how difficult it got at times, and and they like got to the point of just like almost wanting to just quit, and like the only thing that saved them was to be able to, as a group, everyone go back and go over everything together and try to, work backwards and try to figure out what was wrong and what needed to be changed. And I just feel like if you have a whole bunch of groups like that are all just split up in different places, like that can't like be in the same place at once, like that it would be really difficult to figure out issues with the game, and it will take a lot longer to deal with them. Like, so I wonder if maybe that's what happened, is some of these groups would have issues, and it just wasn't as easy to go back and fix it.
It's three things, like stuff like this, when it happens, when it splits. So you have, let's take Ubisoft. Sometimes when they make a game, they'll be like Ubisoft Shanghai, Ubisoft Canada. They'll have different companies, but they all are under Ubisoft that work together. You have, for example, the Square situation when they did on how Final Fantasy Remake is going, how they had different companies go out that they use, and it wasn't up to snuff. So they started from square one to redoing this games and got rid of everything. And then you have someone like Gearbox with Randy Pitchford and Sega with Alien Colonial Marines. That Sega gave Gearbox a game, but Gearbox gave this other company time, whatever, to do it. And then Gearbox would get it back, stitch the game together, fix some things, and then release it. Well, that didn't work well together. So we have those kind of three different developments. it's surprising that Nintendo would do something like this because Nintendo is talented enough to do everything in-house, or they'll be able to work with another Japanese developer. Platinum,
to that
Bandai
point,
Namco.
to that point, Ed, bringing it in-house, right? I think to me, like, I think Nintendo wants this to speak to a Western audience, right? And I'm not saying that Japanese companies can't make good first-person shooter type games, right?
Yeah.
But honestly, I think we saw people break off from Retro to go work on Halo 5, right? And you could Halo 4 and 5 actually, like you could actually see the Metroid Prime influences in it. Yeah, and Recore, like, and then some people have actually been hired back to Retro because they want to work with Nintendo, right? There's been some shifting around. I forget the names who have been rehired because I actually looked it up before the show just to see, like, and IGN actually wrote a big article this weekend that said who's at Retro from the original Metroid Prime trilogy teams, right? And they had this big article about who's still there, who got hired back, that kind of thing, what they worked on outside of here. Some of that team that worked on the Halo games came back. So, like, I think they want it to speak to a Western audience by making it not a proper first-person shooter, but more first-person shooter-esque with puzzle design, right? Like, and I think that's how they want to go, and bringing it in-house to Retro instead of, having a bunch of different Japanese companies work on it, or even some outsourced Chinese development was rumored for assets and stuff. Like, maybe bringing it in-house under one roof was a better idea for a title like this. Now, I could see them doing that for smaller titles, but I think Metroid Prime, they're banking a lot on Metroid Prime 4 for the simple fact that this is a big title for them, and they want it to speak to a Western audience because it's going to sell better over here. And I just think they made the right decision. I really do.
It feels like just the Metroid series in general. I think after Metroid Fusion, they started splitting the game off. And Metroid is the only... Well, Metroid and the handheld Zelda games have been the only ones that have been split off to other developers. Mario & Rabbids to Ubisoft, that's more a side game in a sense, where it's not a full Mario game platformer. Those have been like the only time that Nintendo has used other developers. Bandai Namco with Smash, of course, but Smash was actually done in-house before they started working with Bandai Namco. And you normally don't hear a lot of companies do that. First party, in a sense, working with other companies to do it. Nintendo mostly want to keep their games in Japan to work with. So to see them, and I agree with you, Corey, working with Retro to make the Prime games more appealing to Western, because when Metroid Prime 1 came out, it was such a hit that Nintendo was shocked that, that they had a side Metroid story that they didn't expect that would sell well. Metroid has always been big in America. It's never been big in Japan, and somewhat big in Australia and Europe. But it's really a big franchise here in America.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, I think the thing is too is if you want it to not only meet expectations but possibly exceed them, the best way to do that is to usually have the people who worked on it last, and now they're working with new better hardware. They're working, with easier thing to use to make the game. Well, or was the last ones on? No, the last ones weren't on Unreal. So this is kind of going to be new regardless, isn't it?
Yeah.
Basically. So yeah, at this point, most developers I feel like know how to use Unreal, so it's not really that big of a deal. But I just feel like this was probably the right move to do in the first place, is to just go with the people who had made the last one and let them improve on what they did in the past. Because Because that's usually most games. They improve with over time, and after a developer has gotten used to like the mechanics of everything and all that, then it just comes normal to them. And then at that point, all it is trying to come up with more unique and cooler experiences.
Mhm.
And so like I'm sure it would have been an okay game, but I think that's the thing, is it just would have been okay,
Okay.
and they want to be able to exceed the expectations.
And I think even Nintendo stated that, we're saying that it didn't live up to its standard. I think they would have been like, if we would have brought this out, it would have probably got a pass because it's a Metroid Prime game and people were excited, but we feel like the quality would have let a lot of people down. So, yeah, you're right, Jesse. I just really think, and I was when I was telling Corey this, like, for me, this is kind of hard because I've never felt this way on processing all of this, to be like, I don't know what to say or do. Like, I don't know how to, like, not say fix it, but I'm just like, I don't know what is going to be the future for this game, because I feel like there's going to be a new story. Maybe there are going to be new art assets. Maybe Retro and the producer have come, and the whole story is going to be rewritten and everything. I really don't know now what to do, because we didn't get anything. So now I was just like, only thing I could think of is 2020 that the game would be coming out.
Well,
and
I feel like, I mean, we had this discussion the other day where I think it's going to be more like 2021 at this point.
Yeah,
because, like, don't get me wrong, if they're using an engine they're comfortable with and have assets, they can probably build a working game in a year and a half, right? Like, get it to an alpha state, and then Nintendo likes to take time to polish everything up and make sure everything's working functionally. But I think getting it to a playable state, and they have assets and stuff, I bet they can get this game done in an alpha state at 2 years, right? Which would put us at the beginning of 2021, and then they polish and get it to a beta state, work out, because Nintendo are the masters of QA testing. So, like,
exactly,
I think 2021 looks, that holiday looks realistic of 2021.
And I feel like with them taking it out this year, I think now Nintendo is balanced. We don't have to worry about Metroid, when it's gonna come out, when it's gonna be on the direct. We don't have to worry about that. I think now, because, like, when me and Corey was talking, Jesse, we was talking about what's going to happen into the fall, and we kind of was like predicting how the fall could roll out, and the fall and winter is a big thing to Nintendo. So without having Metroid there, it's balanced. There could be a one-hit game, or even a one-hit game for, like, that's a new IP, or something that's ported from Wii U that could come out.
I still think we're going to be getting Pikmin.
Yeah.
Which we have questions about that, so we're gonna get into that discussion too. But overall, like, I know we've had kind of a little bit of a long discussion on this, but, like, I think them putting out that video kind of resets expectations for people about what's coming. And Ed, I know we've talked about, like, Nintendo needs some tentpole titles this year, except for the fact that I looked up Animal Crossing. The 3DS version has sold 13 million units. So I'm like, okay, there's their tentpole.
Yeah.
There's their other tentpole this year is Animal Crossing. But I still think they need, like, one more tentpole game this year, but, like, we'll get into that.
And we'll probably have an episode like this. I think we need to have, like, a mini block on this, or expansion pass. What's tell the difference between a tentpole game and a compliment game?
Yeah.
What about Bayonetta 2? Isn't Bayonetta supposed to be coming out this year?
Bayonetta 3?
Yeah.
It depends on the Direct and E3. We need footage of that.
So, yeah, I mean, I want to read some of Imran Khan's tweets here because I've been following him since this was announced, right? Like, okay, let me see where this starts here. Okay, that's Kingdom Hearts. Also, there's another like news story I want to talk about in here that is very, very interesting, but I want to get through our Metroid Prime 4 talks first.
Okay.
He says, where does it start? His first tweet was, I guess that explains where Metroid Prime Trilogy disappeared to. And that was in response to the video. And then a couple minutes after that, he said, Retro working on Metroid Prime 4 is interesting. There's not a lot of old Metroid Prime people there anymore, so the experience is in name alone. It's a good PR move, but I understand what happened to the old developer. But under what happened... Wow, this does not make sense. But I understand what happened with the old developer, which was BNS. Bandai Namco something, I'm assuming?
Systems, I think.
Oh,
yeah.
To cause them to overturn the table. So I'm going to get in this thread. He has a couple more tweets on this thread. I last heard the last I heard of the game was around September when people told me it was proceeding fine. Reggie even said the same in December when clearly it must have been boiling over. So that tweet right there, he said either done or canceled, and then he says Nintendo sits on a lot of games for a long time until they feel like marketing it. New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe was on the eShop servers for like a year before they started marketing it. So whatever they were working on is probably already done. It's probably that Star Fox Racing game that was rumored. So that's probably done. Can't wait for that if that ever happens. So he goes on to say the people who were working on it was Bandai Namco Studios, but different parts were also involved, including a studio in Southeast Asia made of mostly old Star Wars 1313 developers. So there's that. And then he continues later on to say, hearing that the big problem with Metroid Prime 4 development was Nintendo's experimental ad hoc development process, which was the game is being made in different parts of different countries. Some studios were trucking along saying it was going smoothly while others were on fire elsewhere. He says internal thinking was that it needs to be all under one roof to right the shift. Interestingly, Retro Studios made a pitch for their involvement and put together a demo that Nintendo liked. Some clarification, I think Trilogy was just meant to be announced in December, not necessarily at the Game Awards. I haven't heard specifically, but it's basically done and ready to be shipped. He says that later on in a couple tweets. So that's basically the story of that. So yeah, he's got some thoughts on that.
Well, and so I mean, that's the thing. I mean, at this point, we almost do need to just get the trilogy to hold us over until the actual 4 comes out now. Because
that's a great transition, Jesse. That's our next topic is, him bringing up the Metroid Prime trilogy being done and supposedly supposed to be announced in December. That seems more likely to be out this year now than Metroid Prime 4, right? We thought it was going to be their big February game. Wasn't announced, wasn't happening. We thought it was going to be a Bayonetta 1 and 2 situation. But that actually puts us in a curious place of where do we put Metroid Prime Trilogy this year, if and when it's announced and done and coming, right?
Mm-hmm. I think yes, everybody once again, me and Corey had the discussion. I first said that, with Prime 4 not coming this year, Trilogy could fill it. But then I asked a different question, which is like, I think there's another game that could fill that void beside Trilogy. And that's probably where the compliment and tentpole question came up. Because now I feel like, do you also push Trilogy to next year? Does it need to be out this year?
Well,
or anything.
I mean, here's the thing. For Metroid Prime Trilogy specifically, look, Bayonetta 1 and 2 were those games are fairly short, right? And Bayonetta 3 did not come out the same year as Collection, right? So, I mean, that gives you a cool little holdover, and you get your fill of that game, and then you move on to the rest of the games, right? I think if this game's not coming out till 2021, maybe they put this out next February. You know, but the thing is like, I would really like to play it now. That way because like, first of all, it takes me a while to finish games if I finish them at all because I'm too busy doing other stuff or playing Destiny again because I got sucked in real hard. That's a different story. But you know, like I think if you want to get people hyped for this announcement, I think you put it out this year, the first half of this year, to make goodwill on the pushback, right? You put it out as goodwill to show, hey, look, we are sorry about Metroid Prime 4. We're trying to do it right. Here's the original collection for Switch. And I honestly, I think it takes that May spot that I predicted Fire Emblem took.
See, I'm going to fight you for that with the Fire Emblem.
Here it comes.
Keep Fire Emblem in May. I think put Trilogy in December.
No, I wouldn't put it out that late.
I will put Trilogy in December because you don't have nothing for December that everybody will expect. So
right now we don't have anything for December.
Expect, yeah. But so right now, where December is more of a open, where nobody, because like December is kind of a month that we don't really worry about games because it's Christmas. People are still getting stuff throughout the whole year, ready for a Christmas gift. I think to hold folks over, you get them, you give them Trilogy in December, and I say add some game. I say add Metroid Fusion and Zero to it. Add some extra, like really add some extra stuff to this trilogy.
That's a different thing. We're gonna have a different conversation about other Metroid projects, right? Because like that was one thing. Is like some people are thinking Nintendo is rumored to be working on other Metroid projects. Yes. And there is a possibility that the Game Boy Advance games are going to be bundled with the 3DS one that just came out as a handheld collection.
Seventh Return?
Yeah, as a handheld collection. So,
well, and what I was thinking too is I'm kind of with you, Corey. I do think it's going to come out sooner if it does this year, but I'm the only reason I'm thinking that is because we've kind of been waiting for a direct lately and we haven't gotten one yet. So does that mean maybe that they're completely redoing that direct and because of this now they're gonna focus on the trilogy in the direct versus what they were gonna talk about was Prime 4 a little bit.
That's exactly what I'm thinking, Jesse, is like they didn't have a January direct because they knew this was happening with Retro. They
put out the indie highlight.
Yeah, so they put out the indie highlight, and I bet we get one within the first 2 weeks of February. They're retooling it. They're kind of, I mean, I'm sure they've been talking about this for years at this point, but like repositioning their 2019 lineup, right? Where they can get the most out of it, and now they're like, well, how do we position Metroid in here? Do we put it out in the fall? Do we put it out in the beginning? Do we make goodwill? I think what you're going to see is a similar type video from Reggie or Bill or something, right? And
from what they did at the Nintendo store.
Yeah, I mean you're going to see that, but I mean like the direct opens with like either Reggie or Bill or I always forget the guy that does the Japanese man who does the
Takashi.
Yeah, Takashi. Open up with this announcement, be like, hey, they addressed the video that they put out already, and they're like, we're moving Metroid Prime 4 to Retro Studios, and you just see the Metroid Prime 4 logo with the Retro Studios logo on one kind of still image. And they're going to announce the Metroid Prime Trilogy collection that way. and be like, maybe it doesn't open up with that, but that's like the first main segment, because they always open up with something that hasn't been announced or something weird like that, right? So
Yeah.
I think that's what's going to happen, and then they're going to transition into their spring/summer lineup.
So unless we get some stuff that's already set for 3DS, because Nintendo still plan to support it,
bring the last Mario and Luigi game over. Partners in Time is the only one they haven't brought over.
I think the only thing they will probably do is that if they're not reshooting the direct, but they're probably doing over voiceovers. They'll probably be doing those. They're probably doing graphics for new dates for it, and then probably editing the direct over again, because that'll be the only way that I know. And that's why I feel like Metroid Prime trilogy being out in December, it wouldn't make sense to put it in this direct because of Metroid Prime 4 decision being moved. So I think maybe E3 or maybe fall direct or a surprise direct or something.
Do you think they could announce it this direct, and then at the E3 direct they give it a release date? Because if they decide to put the trilogy out this fall, like that could be their August, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we kind of, what do we say would be September? Animal Crossing would be September, Luigi's Mansion October, Pokemon November.
Yes.
So, I mean,
and that's why I said trilogy for December, because of nothing fitting. I agree with you, Corey. Doing it as a blurb this direct, go a little bit more in detail for E3, and then bam, give us that announce date so that everybody now could be like, okay, it's coming out whenever month that it's coming out. We could get ready and plan for this, because everybody gonna be like, okay, if y'all gonna do this trilogy, HD remake, we want a collection for it.
Mm-hmm.
We want some Joy-Cons that go. Like, people are expecting, if you're going to do this trilogy, you're going to need to come big with it to make it up for Prime 4 being done.
You don't need to come out big. You just need to make sure you have the goodwill of the people, because Metroid Prime 4 is a big title for them, right? I think they're kind of positioning that as a tentpole thing. I think maybe you just address it and say, hey, look, we are bringing the Metroid Prime trilogy. We don't have anything else to announce at this time, because, I mean, what if they make like a trilogy collector's edition with like a special amiibo or something? I could see them really doing that.
And that's what people will be hoping for.
That'll be like their goodwill move, is like, we have the trilogy, it's $60. If you pre-order it or something, you get the amiibo with it, that kind of thing.
Yes.
Some sort of, like, even if they redid the steelbook case like they did for the Wii version, right? Like if they just had like a steelbook.
Yes. I say release some like Metroid Prime or Silver theme kind of Joy-Cons with it, like, or a Pro controller. Because I now wonder if
a Pro controller would be cool, because we've got all the Joy-Cons, right? They can't package a yellow and a red Joy-Con together, right? That would be too, I mean, on the nose almost. I mean, I guess they could, but like, I would see that more as like a special edition Switch for Metroid Prime 4. As like, they have a Metroid themed Switch come out with the Joy-Cons or whatever. And by then, like, that, if they if they revise the Switch at all, like, that could be the way they sell a revised Switch too, is like, hey, we have the Metroid whatever special edition whatever.
Because I wonder if they're gonna retool Corruption and Prime 4 to fit Pro controller and Joy-Con.
You mean 3?
Corruption is 3.
2 and 3?
Yeah.
You said 3 and 4, so.
But 3 and 4 is because Prime 4, we don't know if it's going to be just straight Joy-Con, but if they're going to make it Joy-Con and Pro controller. So with 3, with Corruption being only remote, they could probably reprogram it so that it fits the Joy-Con and fit the Pro controller. That's why I said 4.
My thing is, I want them to retool all the games and have them have dual joystick support instead of like, because like, look, Metroid Prime's a great game, but like controlling Samus with one joystick is very old way of thinking, right? Like, It's very GoldenEye, very Perfect Dark. And
Resident Evil 4.
You know what?
Resident Evil 4 is the other good example, Jesse. I'm not kidding. Like I want that camera control on the right stick.
I would not get into that. I have my thoughts. We have our discussions. Go check out AX.
Ed's basically stuck in 1997, guys. It's fine. He wants to live at the arcade.
Hold on. Because because this is the thing. Retool the GameCube demo of Metroid Prime and use that method and get it out.
Yeah.
To get a feeling of they're going to do dual sticks.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to test out that theory gameplay. Mm-hmm. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I know.
But don't touch my Resident Evil 4. I'm just saying.
Yeah. This other story from there was another thing posted by Nintendo Life today that said Metroid Prime Trilogy for Nintendo Switch is ready to be released. It's been long done. The initial announcement of the Trilogy Collection was supposed to happen last month, but not necessarily at the Game Awards, which why wouldn't you announce at the Game Awards? Over on Reset Era, Game Informer editor Imran Khan said Metroid Prime 4's development reset is likely to alter Nintendo's schedule and mentioned how there was more, quote, Metroid stuff in the pipeline to anticipate, not just the trilogy. So, so look at a handheld collection. Do you think they would also put out like the quote unquote handheld collection of the Game Boy Advance games and even Samus Returns?
No, because there's too many to do.
No.
Reason being is because you got Zero Mission, you got Fusion, you got Metroid Hunters, the one that came on DS, you got the pinball
maybe
one.
Maybe you don't do that. Maybe you just put 3 games on there. Maybe it's just Zero Mission, Fusion, and Samus Returns.
And Samus. I think Samus Returns is still new in the pipeline on 3DS, because that game is still out there and on the eShop. Everybody could just go buy that. I would just say if they do Metroid, Fusion, and Zero Mission, they should be fine. Mm-hmm. I think that would be enough. If they want to retool it for Switch, then they'll probably.
I wouldn't mind seeing the 2D games come over, like a 2D collection. And maybe it's not even just handheld. Maybe it's just 2D collection, right? And maybe you throw Super Metroid in there for goodwill too. Like, I don't know. I'm just thinking. I don't think a 2D collection would happen, but I'm just saying, because you've already got the Nintendo Switch online service that's rumored to be getting Super Nintendo games, so I think that itself eliminates Super Metroid. And if you're gonna eventually put Game Boy and Game Boy Advance games on there,
that's what I was gonna say. Would it be maybe more so if they did something like that? I think it would be with the announcement. It would be like starting titles for the advanced Game Boy and all that kind of stuff added to the online service. I don't think they would actually sell it. Mm-hmm. Sell those games. It would be more so something they add to that.
I think that if they add the Game Boy Metroid 2, the Return of Samus, the original one, to Fusion and Zero Mission, I think people would be excited to buy it, to play that on Switch. So then you could avoid having those games being waited to be on the online service. You already got them on Switch. You could buy those games $40 or $50, whatever Nintendo want to charge, or book with it. They do it big so that the $50 or $60, if they want to charge that, it will be worth the price of being that as a collection for it. Mm-hmm. Because that's why I said about Hunters and the pinball one, because of those games not being re-released. I think those could be tidy up and added on so that more people could get exposure that, hey, Nintendo did some side Metroid games you guys might want to check out. They weren't good, or they weren't up to snuff, I should say. But it's a value or something.
Yeah. This last little bit of news here before we get into the question block. Imran Khan also reports, I've been following him a lot recently. So, based on a recent update to Travis Strikes Again, he says that Suda may be trying to position a potential No More Heroes 3 as No More Heroes versus Killer 7 for the story. He also says a few months back, I asked Suda if he would ever want to do a Smash Brothers style game of his own properties, and he laughed, but pretty knowingly. Where's the rest of it? So that's that. I said show this thread, and there's only one response. So, do you think that would be a cool idea if they did No More Heroes versus Killer 7? That's kind of a weird, almost.
No.
It would be interesting. I'd be interested.
Ed's not interested in anything that we have to say unless it's his idea.
No.
It came out in 1997.
You in this 1997. The thing about it is that No More Heroes and Killer 7 are too separate to bring in, because Killer 7 is burst off of personalities, and No More Heroes is definitely with two gangs, is with assassins. So they just wouldn't gel well, because it's just like, in reality, if you think about it, with Killer 7, it's supposed to be one person with these 7 different personalities, and those personalities have a human form, human likeness to them. So it just wouldn't make sense if they want to do a No More Heroes one as just a long as a Smash game. It will work as a fighter, because if you have all of those characters established, I just don't think that this doesn't make sense and stuff. Now, if you give me a Killer 7 remake for Switch, then yes, give me that, and then throw in No More Heroes 3. But for a Smash thing, just keep it between No More Heroes 1 and 2.
Yeah. Well, the update to the Travis Strikes Again ending, they added a new ending. A Killer 7 character, Dan Smith, makes an appearance in the Travis Strikes Again opening and closing now. So available today as the Day 7 patch, released 1 week after launch. So interesting. We'll see. We'll see. That's interesting that character's in there. All right, guys, we're going to get into the question block here. We've got a lot of questions that harken back to our topics of the show, but we only have 2 questions today, but they're pretty deep questions. So, long-time Nerds Gone Rogue fan Deshaun Malone writes in and says, as a huge Metroid fan, I'm pretty bummed. What do you think this means for the Switch's timeline in 2019/2020? So we already discussed that Metroid Prime 4 probably isn't coming till at least 2021, right? I've been thinking a lot about this year in particular. There's a bunch of rumored titles that haven't been announced yet. Here, the 3 that have been heavily rumored, I guess 4 now, if you include last year's quote-unquote E3 leak. We have Pikmin 4, Mario Maker 2.0, which I think could be their big tentpole game, their third big tentpole game this year. Star Fox Grand Prix, and Metroid Prime Trilogy. Those are 4 games that have been heavily rumored for months. Don't deep dive down Reddit rabbit holes, guys. It gets very interesting and sometimes very dark.
And you brought up another one, Corey. Mario & Rabbids 2.
Oh yeah, that's the other one that was rumored. Ubisoft, I guess, falling down the Reddit rabbit hole, I guess Ubisoft wants to have a Switch collaboration every year until the Switch becomes unpopular or they just can't do it. But Mario plus Rabbids 2 is also heavily rumored. So those are 5 games that are rumored. Probably not all this year, or maybe those ones are this year and they're pushing other titles out of here. But if you have those titles, you also have Bayonetta 3, Animal Crossing, probably 2 versions of Pokemon, Luigi's Mansion, Yoshi's Crafted World, What else was there? I'm just listening.
Shimmy.
I'm just listening first party.
Oh, Shimmy. Well, Shimmy got me to say 5. Because they showed that. They've been showing. People have been talking about that a lot. Then this is probably 3rd. Dragon Quest 11S. I think that's going to be the title for that one.
Yeah,
you
they showed
still
off
have
footage for that. Did you see that?
Yeah,
Did you watch that?
I
footage?
did.
It looks really good.
Yeah. Like my most anticipated game, Daemon X Machina. You got Sayonara, Hearts thing, Wild Hearts. You got that. You got Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 from Tecmo and Nintendo. That could be coming this year.
And like I told Ed, like Marvel Ultimate Alliance, they're probably aiming for the Avengers home release.
Yeah.
For that, or it could be. When does Avengers come out? April. Right? April? I don't know. I haven't been keeping up with this stuff.
I'm not sure yet.
I think, end of April. It comes out April 29th or something like that. So, that could even potentially be their April game.
Yeah.
Except for the simple fact that there's so many games coming out in April that I don't think they want to mess up third-party stuff. Like, you got 2 Final Fantasy games, Mortal Kombat, Dragon's Dogma. You got to throw one of the Resident Evil games in there somewhere.
Final Fantasy X, Final Fantasy X2. Don't forget Vampire is coming to Switch, so that might feel something. Regardless on how you look at it, surprising that game is coming to Switch.
Mm-hmm. And I think Ace Attorney is also coming out in April. The Ace Attorney trilogy.
Ooh, I forgot all about that.
Yeah. So, plus Shovel Knight, the most important April game.
Yeah, we got that. What me and you talked about, Corey, about EA try to get Frostbite on Switch. If they could get that working, maybe we see Madden 20 on it on Switch.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna try to bet on that right now. I'm not. I'm just. I get it.
Doesn't even work on Xbox.
Yeah, I know.
but if they could get something of Frostbite working, and if EA could get some of their games ported over to Switch, maybe we could see something this year. I mean, because hopefully we see the one game that one female and her team is working on that they announced at E3. Hopefully we see more of that. That's a possibility that could come to Switch because Faye came to Switch. So.
That one, the EA Originals thing. The submarine game or something. I forget.
EA, they'll probably throw that Command & Conquer on Switch, and that's a possibility. That's scary, but it's a possibility.
I mean, let's just look at the big titles that are here right now. Like, in terms of first party. They have so much, and like even if these other games turn out not to be true, like they still have a ton, right? I mean, we've known Pikmin 4 has been in the works since right after Pikmin 3, right? They were kind of working on Pikmin 4 before Pikmin 3 was even released. So, man, Pikmin 3 is so good.
Well, I'm sure they were probably did do some stuff with that the DS one or whatever, the 3DS or 2DS one.
Yeah.
But I'm sure they probably just took a little,
a break.
Just took some of the people from that group to work on that, because I'm guessing they had 2 different groups. But
yeah. So I mean, what do you think what do you think is going to be their big E3 game this year now?
For me personally, it's going to probably be Pokemon. If it's not Pokemon, it's going to be Animal Crossing. But I think Pokemon is going to be their big one.
Yeah, I mean, I think their booth is going to be Animal Crossing, but I think Pokemon's going to be heavily featured. Obviously, I think, Pokemon's so weird because they always have the Pokemon Direct separate from the Nintendo Direct.
Yeah.
Right. So that's going to probably be in May. The Pokemon Direct's probably going to be in May, or that first week of June, right before E3. And then, they mention it in the Nintendo Direct, but then that first segment of Treehouse after E3 is going to be all about Pokemon.
I think at E3 we probably get Challenger Pack 2 for Smash. Like
Yeah, that's
everybody
another
is
thing.
anticipating,
We always forget about the Smash DLC coming.
right? Because like everybody's expecting Joker, so Atlas still has a chance to put Persona on there,
Hmm.
and that's huge. Because
We'll
if
know in March, right? We'll know if there's some sort of Persona thing coming. Because like even if we don't get Persona 5 or Persona 5R, whatever this thing's rumored to be called, like
yeah,
you could still get the dancing game. You could still get a fighting game. Like you could still get some sort of Persona related thing. So
I think to knock everything out, like to really blow everybody's expectations, like of Persona 5, and of course, I want Persona 3 FES to come to Switch. I prefer that. Um, Atlas could be sneaky and be remaking Persona 1 and Persona 2, both games, and put that out on Switch. That would throw everybody's unexpected minds to be like, look, a lot of y'all didn't get into Persona until 3 came out, or even the 4. But if in Persona 4 Golden, they could port that from Vita to Switch. That's a possibility. But Persona 1 and 2, a lot of people don't know about those games.
yeah, I mean, that's the thing too. Is like Atlas is such a coin flip away from that too, right? Like because we still need to see more of Shin Megami Tensei 5, and also like even if we don't get Persona, what if we get Tokyo Mirage Sessions port? 'Cause that's
please
something
do,
something we
yes.
have not talked about too. Was Wii and Wii U ports still coming, right? Like what if we get Shin Megami Tensei? I know the Xenoblade team wanted to port X over, or what if we get an HD version of 1 coming over? You know, like there could be things that we don't know. What are the big Wii U games that we don't have yet on Switch? That could possibly be ported. Super Mario 3D World,
Yes.
Tokyo Mirage Sessions, Xenoblade X. I guess Mario Maker, but I see Mario Maker 2.0 being
So,
more of a thing.
what's the one with the camera? Black Maiden.
Fatal Frame. What if
Fatal Frame.
they could?
Fatal Frame
Because
could make.
like that was localized and put on the eShop, but never released physically. We could be getting that physically at some point.
Yeah.
Just because like if Nintendo wants to keep up with like a Resident Evil thing, and we don't get the Resident Evil 2 remake, like you know, I know they're porting those games over, but like Fatal Frame would be a good one to just port over.
They can retool Star Fox Zero to come
Well,
to Switch.
I mean, if they're trying to get that Star Fox Grand Prix game, I'm trying to think of games that we don't know anything about.
But that's what I'm saying.
Although
for
you're right,
Wii U.
if they did retool Star Fox Zero and just let you play it like a normal Star Fox game instead of using the motion stuff, like that would be amazing. Because like that game had a lot of cool ideas, right? And like I get it, like the gamepad shooting stuff was a cool idea, but like I would like to see them retool that and put that on Switch actually.
Give me my Xenoblade Chronicles X2. I would like that.
What about a Pikmin trilogy too?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would love to see I would, dude. I mean, they're already formatted in widescreen, right? I mean, I'm sure it wouldn't take a lot to up-res those textures because I'm sure they were, even though they were on the GameCube, like a lot of games around that time had HD textures and just downported them, right? Because like the big thing was Okami for PS2 when they were working on that game had 1080p textures already. They just downported it to PS2 into a 480p style, but that's why that game translates so well to HD already, is because it already had HD textures. Right. So, I mean, they could already be doing that type of stuff. Man, dude, Pikmin 1, I want.
Yeah.
For CubeCast,
I want Pikmin 2 because I have never got the chance to play that.
You've never played Pikmin 2?
No.
It's interesting.
I played 1 and 2, and that's it so far, I believe. So
Pikmin 3 is
I haven't-
great.
Yeah.
Like, even if they don't do a whole trilogy, I would love to see Pikmin 3 ported over because that game is fantastic. Still stand by it. It's the best use of the Wii remote. Besides Wii Sports, just saying.
Yeah, now that I think of it, I did play the demo of 3 because I want to say, didn't they have the demo of that game in the stores for people to play?
I think so.
so.
I think because if I remember correctly, I did. That's all I got to play of it was just the demo because
So
I
it
think
was that.
our GameStop had it.
Yeah, because it was that and Rayman Legends were the big titles that were coming out around the same time.
We have like once to Switch can actually get a follow up. Nintendo Land can actually make a comeback.
Like an actual Wii Sports game, I
Yeah,
think would be huge.
Wii Sports HD would be amazing. Like if they just said,
because I mean
if-
that was a console seller. Literally, it was a console seller.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
So
plus,
for
like,
them to not resell it again is just kind of insane.
well, like I know they made Wii Sports Club for Wii U, but like if you just put Wii Sports HD and sold it for $40, even if it was digital, like people would buy the crap out of that. Just because like the Wii it's been long enough since the Wii released. Gosh, man, dude, it's been 13 years since the Wii released. There's been a whole generation that grew up playing the Wii that want to play Wii Sports, right? And like that would just
yeah.
man.
And like I said, they can just call it Me Sports. They don't have to call it Wii
Well,
Sports.
I mean,
just call it Me.
They could
Sports.
just call it Wii Sports HD.
SD, right? And we still have for my RPG fans out there, we still have Grandia and Grandia 2 still coming to the Switch. Lassinger 1 and 2 is coming in Japan. Hopefully that comes to America because I've never heard of it, but I've seen it and I was just like, oh, this would be something I'll be down for. So I mean, and then whatever Square Enix wants to do. But just like for Wii U, because I know we probably answered the second question.
I answered it already. I'm just going to read it right now. Sam Hall asked, do you think Nintendo will rush some Wii U ports or to fill the gaps or announce some other games? I mean, we've kind of already been talking about that, so we're just going to kind of throw that in there. Sorry, Sam.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to cross over, but we did. So
And like me and Corey was Steven talking about ARMS too. You know,
you were
how
talking
that
about
could be
ARMS too, and I was heavily disagreeing with you. But
did we talk about that with you Jesse? Was that in the chat or was that?
No, I don't think you did.
Okay.
But I
go ahead.
personally, I could honestly see them doing another one. I don't know that it would be this year. It would probably be next year. But I could see an ARMS 2 coming out.
I'm just
What do you-
I'm
Or
just going-
them talking about it this year.
What do you think of Golf Story 2?
Um,
Or too early?
yeah, that might be too early. Because like like with the whole thing that that the limited run games did with Best Buy, and like literally that just came out in physical form just like a couple of months ago or whatever. So
But they
like,
could
I
announce.
think maybe announce. I think that would be maybe something though that they would do in like an indies early next year.
Early next year. Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, we didn't really talk about the timeline too much, but like, I mean, personally, I think right now it's until we see what this next direct is like. I think we're gonna revisit this topic whenever the next direct happens. Is what does Nintendo's 2019 look like after the direct? Because they're gonna announce release dates, they're gonna announce all kinds of things. So, we're definitely gonna revisit that topic. But
Doom 2 and Wolfenstein Youngblood.
yeah, I forgot about that. It is like Doom Eternal and Wolfenstein are both coming to Switch too, and supposedly this year, right? Both those games are supposed to come out this year.
Mm-hmm.
I know.
think so,
I know.
yeah.
Youngblood at least is supposed to come out this year, and I'm sure
And-
Doom is going to come out. I think they want to. I think Bethesda is trying to position Doom as like a big October, November release.
Yeah. And Jesse, you might get happy for this, but I think Rage 2 will probably be 21. I think the Rage 2 is going to come to Switch for 2021. Panic Button will be working on it.
That's too late, man. For that, if it's coming out this year for consoles, that's too late.
Avalanche is working. Avalanche is working on that game for the major consoles, and they're not so much working on Nintendo things. So I think Bethesda. I think Bethesda is probably because of Doom 2 and Wolfenstein and Youngbloods, those being two games coming to Switch. I think they want to wait to Rage 2 development get done before they get that game onto Switch.
I think
That's the only reason.
I mean, I could see that coming to Switch in 2020 because they did say they're exploring the option to bring it to Switch. But I think 2021 would be way too late for that game. I think 2020 would be an okay, like early 2020 release would be cool for that. But
Yeah, or mid 2020. Like, because I think they would try to get it by next year if they did. Like like Corey said, if it's like almost 2 years later, that or whatever that I don't know.
Because I know we've gotten ports of old games to Switch before, but like they made it into that window of like the Switch is new.
Yeah,
let's play these old games on the Switch because it's convenient. The Switch by 2021 is going to be out for 4 years at that point. Like, people are going to have their libraries. They're going to move past the games they missed already. Like, I think that convenience factor is slowly drying up, right? So,
well, because I don't think we have do we have an official date for Rage 2?
Yeah, I don't think it's May 29th, I think.
Well, and I think those original games, those first couple that they brought out were just to say, hey, look what we can do. And and now they're trying to keep up with games and not be too far behind. Yeah. But I think that was the thing, is they were kind of starting. They needed to put those first projects forward to first make sure that they can 100% do it, but to then, once they could do it, to show people. And now they're just gonna try to stay as close to the original release as possible. And I don't think they would get it out the same year, but beginning of next at the latest.
I think pushing it. A reason I push it to 21 is I didn't know that they had a set date already. I think Panda Button has a lot of projects at hand. And so for them to add Rage 2 to it, I think they want to finish their projects and get it out for it. And I think like an early 20, if they could get it out 2020, we probably won't see it until the fall, because we'll definitely be waiting for an ED direct for that one. I think 21 just like would give them enough time to be like, but because Bethesda's gonna be focusing on Elder Scrolls 6 in that space game, so to keep kind of like Nintendo Switch players engaged and stuff, Rage 2 could be a hit for them, or be some good money for Bethesda to finance whatever they want to in 2021. Yeah. So,
well, and another thing,
I can see it on 2020.
And another thing I think too is they would want to get it out before the new consoles start coming out.
Yeah.
Too. So, like, I don't know, because then I feel like it would just be an afterthought otherwise if they don't bring it out before the new consoles are a thing.
Yeah. And for them to work on Wolfenstein, for that to come out, like for them to announce it after I think what did Wolfenstein 2 get announced before the game actually came out, or Wolfenstein 2 was already out?
Wolfenstein 2 was announced in the November Direct after
it came out.
Yeah.
So do you think the same thing could happen at E3? They announced it Rage 2?
I think we're spending way too much time on Rage, in my personal opinion, because I don't think Rage is coming to Switch.
But it's a possibility. I'm just saying
it is. I wouldn't have people get their hopes up. So
just can't count this out.
I think it would take long. Personally, just to wrap this up, I think personally that if Rage did end up coming to Switch, the thing is Rage is not running on id Tech like Wolfenstein and Doom. It's running on Avalanche's proprietary engine. So that's the only thing, is like if Panic Button did it, or even Iron Galaxy, like they would have to relearn the
engine,
learn how the engine worked, which is like another reason why like I think a year at best would be, especially if Panic Button's working on Doom and Wolfenstein right now to hit day and date release dates. Like that's so far away that's why I don't think Rage would be coming, is because you would have to find the right porting house. You would have to find people who know the engine and that kind of thing. So that's my only thing about that. But I don't know. 2019 is going to be an interesting year. 2020 is going to. I think Nintendo has enough to space out their releases for the next 2 years.
Yes.
For people to be like, plus like not this year probably, but next year we could see a new Zelda announced. We could see a sequel to Odyssey announced. Like those are games we're forgetting too. Is like they've already stated they want to put sequels out to those games before the Switch's life cycle's over. So
trifecta.
And you know how they like to take their sweet time on Zelda. So, but anyways, that's gonna do it for us here on Nintendo Pow Block. We've had some really interesting discussions today. I think Nintendo's in a good spot. I don't think people need to worry about Metroid Prime 4. If anything, I think this is a better situation for that game. I think Nintendo's 2019 is shaping up just nicely, and even if we don't get those rumor titles, still a big year for Switch. So, remember you can email us your questions at nintendopowblock@gmail.com or join our Facebook group, facebook.com/group/nintendopowblock to submit your question. Also, the giveaway, just a quick reminder before we wrap up, subscribe to the YouTube page, join the Nintendo Pow Block Facebook group, post your subscription screenshot and your favorite Nintendo memory. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Nintendo_PBlock. You can also find all of our content on ngrradio.com and on youtube.com/Nintendo Powblock. Jesse, where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitter at PhantomMegadAX.
Ed, where can we find you?
You guys can find me on Twitter at ThatRetroCode, and you can also check out this week's optional opinion on ngrradio.com. Special feature.
Nice. You can find me on Twitter at CorianHD713. I changed it, so there you go. 713. It's my daughter's birthday. I had to do that. You can also find me on Instagram and Twitch at CorianHD. You can find me on various content around ngrradio.com and on the other channels. If you like Destiny, Anthem, or The Division 2, you should subscribe to those channels as well. You should subscribe to Tower Casuals, Javelins for Hire, and Dark Sun Junkies. Those are podcasts you can listen to every Monday, or you can check out the channels for more content.
Also, everybody, check out the latest Indie Showcase. Me and Corey played The Messenger, so check that out. Yes.
You can also download our other podcasts, Arsenal X, our Xbox podcast, Nerds Gone Platinum, our PlayStation podcast, and Nerds Gone Rogue, and of course, Nintendo Pow Block every Tuesday at 7 a.m. Eastern Time on your podcast service of choice. I want to thank everybody for watching, and until next time.
Bye, everybody. Bye. Woohoo!
Like, subscribe, and share.